For today's headlines, hunger falls to 10% in September. Low vax rate among seniors bewailed. Despite Omicron, travelers' influx seen. Delta still dominant variant. No COC withdrawal deadline according to COMELEC. The FA sets repatriation of stranded OFW from Europe. Indonesia volcano erupts again. Good morning, I am Venice Bautista and you are watching Tribune News on Q. Today is December 7, 2021 and here are the latest news of this Tuesday morning. Filipinos who experienced hunger in September 2021 fell to 10% compared to the 13.6% in July 2021, according to the social weather stations. Based on the survey conducted by SWS from 12 to 16 of September 2021, it showed that an estimated 2.5 million families experienced hunger at least once in the past 3 months. According to SWS, the September hunger is 3.6 points below the 13.6% or 3.4 million families in June 2021. SWS added that it is 11.1 points below the 2020 annual average of 21.1%, but 0.7 points above the 2019 annual average of 9.3%. The resulting 13.5% average for the first 3 quarters of 2021 is less than for last year but has not yet fully recovered to pre-pandemic levels. The survey covered at least 1,200 adults nationwide, 300 each in Metro Manila, Balance Luzon, the Visayas, and Mindanao. A party list salon representing senior citizens on Monday lamented the low COVID-19 vaccination rate in the elderly sector despite the government's conduct of a massive vaccination drive recently. Senior party list representative Rodolfo Ompong Ordanes expressed concern over the data wherein only about 50% of the almost 10 million Filipino senior citizens have been fully inoculated against COVID-19 since the government rolled out its vaccination program on March 1 this year. Ordanes pointed out that as of December 4, only 5.2 million seniors have been fully vaccinated, while 4.74 million seniors have not received their second dose yet. Less than 150,000 seniors have received booster shots. He said even the 4-day national vaccination drive was not enough to increase the vaccination rate in this vulnerable group. The lawmaker called on the National Task Force against COVID-19, Interagency Task Force, and local government units to address the low vaccination turnout among senior citizens, despite being regarded as the A2 priority group or the sector that is the second to the top priority of the government's vaccination program. He stressed that the government must also prioritize the senior citizens living outside Metro Manila, considering that they are at increased risk of severe illness and death amid the COVID-19 pandemic. In July 2021, the World Health Organization called for boosted efforts by LGU to vaccinate the elderly, citing slow vaccination rollout among senior citizens, while improved vaccination rates in other priority groups. WHO pointed out that the elderly are at the highest risk of the most severe outcomes of COVID-19, with 7 out of 10 COVID-19 deaths in the Philippines belonging to this group. The Bureau of Immigration expressed optimism Monday that passengers' arrivals from abroad will increase during the holiday season, despite the travel restrictions being implemented due to the new COVID-19 variant of concern, Omicron. Immigration Commissioner Jaime Morente said that as they see domestic travel bouncing, international travel may soon follow. Morente said that for this month, 85% of arrivals from abroad have been overseas Filipino workers and balikbayans. During the first day of December, 6,000 passenger arrivals from abroad were tracked by the BI, a number which it said was comparatively low for the season amid global travel restrictions due to COVID-19. Due to the threat of the highly transmissible Omicron variant, the Philippines has placed several countries in the red list, or where travel from is barred except from for Filipinos. Morente, nonetheless, said he expects the number of arrivals to increase close to Christmas and New Year. In December last year, 152,000 passengers have entered the country. BI Port Operations Division Chief Attorney Carlos Capulong said that Filipino passengers may now pass through the e-gates installed at the immigration arrival areas at all three terminals of the Ninoy Aquino International Airport and the Clark International Airport in Angeles City. Capulong said that the reopening of the e-gates was ordered by Commissioner Morente in the face of the expected influx of international travelers. The BI said that the operation of the e-gates cuts the processing time for passengers for the present 45 seconds to as fast as 8 seconds. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris masaya, pagsama-sama.
Bong, yung naumpisahan ko, tapusin mo. Mga bagong highway, tulay, tren, dapat ma-enjoy na kaagad ng mga tao yan. Kailangan lahat bakunado at laging may ayuda pag kailangan. Huwag dapat makabalik ang mga drug lords para ligtas ang pamilya. Yung ginawa mong malasakit centers, maganda yan. Padamihin mo pa. Magkasama tayo. Tayo ang nagsimula, tuloy-tuloy lang, Bong.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris masaya, pagsama-sama.
We're back on Tribune News on Q. The Philippines on Monday reported 571 more cases of the highly transmissible Delta variant, bringing the total caseload in the country to 7,848. In a media briefing, Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergire said that based on the latest biosurveillance report, out of the 629 samples that underwent genome sequencing, 571 cases, or 90.78%, turned out positive for the Delta variant. Vergire said the majority of the newly detected Delta variant cases came from Region 2 with 129 cases, followed by Region 9 with 118 cases, and Cordillera Administrative Region with 85 cases. She said that there were 5 returning overseas Filipino samples sequenced, 2 were coming from the USA, 1 from Iraq, and 1 from Kuwait. We are still verifying the country of origin of the last one, and these samples are tested positive for Delta variant, she said. She also noted that a total of 22 cases are still currently being verified, whether these are local or ROF cases. Vergire noted that the country has yet to detect any case of the Omicron variant based on the recent biosurveillance report, while most of the detections were that of the Delta variant. Of the sequence samples, only 1 new Alpha variant case and Beta variant case were added, which covered 0.16% of the samples sequenced. In other news, the Commission on Elections on Monday said there is no deadline for any voluntary withdrawal of the certificate of candidacy for the upcoming polls in 2022. In a hybrid press briefing, COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez said a candidate may file his or her voluntary withdrawal at any time, even during Election Day on May 9, 2022. Jimenez said in a press briefing that after November 15, there can be no substitution for withdrawals that are voluntary. The only deadlines that the COMELEC give are for substitution and for those removed from the race involuntarily by death or disqualification. The deadline on when you should submit your substitution on midday is election. Taking all of that under consideration, there is in fact no deadline for voluntary withdrawal, and candidates can withdraw anytime, even on the day of the election. Jimenez also said a qualified candidate can even voluntarily withdraw even after he or she was proclaimed the winner of the election. Meanwhile, some supporters of presidential aspirant Senator Christopher Go congregated in front of the COMELEC on Monday afternoon, still hopeful that the lawmaker will stay in the race. Go declared that he is backing out of his presidential bid last week. He has yet to withdraw his COC, and the lawmaker, however, appealed to his supporters to refrain from spending on their own to produce election and campaign materials on his behalf, saying he has decided on his withdrawal for good. He said he told President Duterte about it and his family is against it. He also reiterates that to consider his withdrawal as people's Christmas gift to him and understand the reasons for his withdrawal. He added that even if Go have yet to make his withdrawal formal, he is trying to explain to his supporters that his decision is final and firm. At least 140 Filipinos stranded in Europe due to the travel ban amid the spread of the COVID-19 Omicron variant would be repatriated to the Philippines, the Department of Foreign Affairs said on Monday. Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Sara Lu Ariola said the DFA is set to facilitate 2 Bayanihan flights on 10 December and 13 of December to assist the affected passengers. Their transport point, she added, would be in the Netherlands. She added that the 13 December schedule would be a humanitarian flight, and they have to gather Filipinos all over Europe to ride this plane, and they are all urging our kababayans to contact our nearest embassy or consulate to make their rearrangements. The Philippine borders closed for several countries in Europe after the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases expanded the nations under its red list, or areas considered as high risk for COVID-19. Italy, Austria, Czech Republic, Hungary, Netherlands, Switzerland, and Belgium were added to the list, which previously included South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, Eswatini, and Mozambique. This means inbound international travelers coming from the said list are barred from entering the country regardless of their vaccination status, with the exemption of Filipinos returning to the country via government-initiated or non-government-initiated repatriation and bayanihan flights. Ariola further said the Philippine government is exerting efforts to help 49 Filipinos in South Africa who wish to return home. She, however, admitted encountering a difficulty in coordinating since many countries have closed their borders for the country which first reported the Omicron strain to the World Health Organization. Tribune News on Key will be back. Stay with us.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Masaya, pagsama-sama. Katribu, hanap mo ba ay food to satisfy your cravings, essential products o ano paman? Sagot ka namin dito sa tindahan ni Tarsi. Halina't tuklasin, kilalanin at alamin ang kwento sa likod ng iba't ibang produkto at negosyo mula sa ating Pinoy local entrepreneurs na tiyak papatok sa'yo. Samahan natin si Tarsi simula November 16 na mapapanood sa programang Gising na mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune at Tribune Now on YouTube. Mga impormasyong direktang makukuha mula sa sources at diretsahang usapan. Yan ang atid namin sa inyo sa programang Straight Talk. Samahan nyo kami sa makabuluhang talakayan live tuwing Martes alas 10 ng umaga sa official Facebook page ng Daily Tribune at Tribune Now on YouTube. Alamin ang latest entertainment at sa mga paborito nyong celebrities kasama si Pocholo Concepcion sa programang WhatsApp. Makibanding at kwentuhan kasama ang mga kilalang personalidad sa entertainment industry. Sama-sama natin silang kilalanin at silipin ang makulay nilang mundo every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Kaya sit back and relax lang kayo mga katribu. Hanapin at ilike ang Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube. Dahil sagot na namin ang masayang kwentuhan dito lang sa WhatsApp. Mapalutong bahay man o sumptuous meal for special occasions, sagot na kayo ng tropang Kalanpag. Dahil atid sa inyo ng Daily Tribune ang fun and exciting cooking show na Kalanpag, manood at matuto kung paano lutuin ang mga favorite nyong recipes. Sabayan pa ng fun and inspiring na kwentuhan sa kusina. I-upgrade na rin natin ang mga nakasanayang traditional dish ng pamilya. Plus, healthy tipid tips na ibabahagi ng tropang Kalanpag. Matuto, mabusog, at good vibes dito lang sa Kalanpag. Tuwing Lunes, 10:30 a.m. sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris masaya, pagsama-sama.
You are still watching Tribune News on Q. And for our foreign news, Indonesia's Mount Semeru spewed more ash on Monday, forcing rescuers to suspend the search for survivors as aerial images show the extent of the devastation unleashed by the volcano's deadly weekend eruption. The biggest mountain on the island of Java thundered to life Saturday, ejecting a mushroom of volcanic ash high into the sky and raining hot mud as thousands of panicked people fled their homes. At least 15 were killed. Aerial photos showed entire streets filled with gray volcanic ash and mud, which had swallowed many homes and vehicles, including whole trucks. Rescue operations were suspended because of fresh volcanic activity on Monday, and Indonesia's National Disaster Agency said 27 people were still missing. Dangerous thick plumes of smoke continued to emerge from areas blanketed by the volcanic ash, while rescuers in hard hats tried to dig through the mud to try and find survivors and recover bodies. Their task was made more difficult as the volcanic debris had started to harden, and other rescuers helped desperate villagers salvage their belongings from wrecked homes. Ash from Semeru traveled up to 4 kilometers away after the Saturday eruption, Indonesia's geological agency reported. A sand mine company's office in Kampung Renteng village was buried after the eruption, trapping 15 people, according to Foreman Hasim, 65, who, like many Indonesians, goes by one name. Rescue officials said some were buried inside their vehicles with no time to escape. Mount Semeru's last major eruption was in December 2020, which also forced thousands to flee and wrecked villages. And that wraps up the stories this morning. Before we go, we'd like to thank the following: the SM Store, Department of Tourism, Araneta City, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Venice Bautista on Tribune News on Q, reminding you that we only have 18 days until Christmas. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning.
Catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. Download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS and Google Play for Android to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune invites you to join its Viber community, Katribu, to get updates on the hottest news on politics, business, sports, lifestyle, and entertainment. Emoticons of the Tribune mascot Tercito are available on our community Viber.